Hey folks, Chef Jesse here. How's everybody doing today? On a, what is it, Tuesday? Tuesday! So anyway folks, today Gilbert's on his way home from work, and I want to start dinner. And it's kind of hard with one hand. But anyway, I'm going to try my best to chop up some onions because I want to make French onion soup. For those who've never had French onion soup, who've never seen what French onion soup is, look it up. You'll see it. It's French onion soup, hence the name French onion soup. And it's put it into a little bowl, and it's got either croutons or nice toasty bread, Italian bread, and then it's got cheese laid on top, and that's what makes it a French onion soup. So I'm gonna try my best with the dog in the middle, and I'm gonna have to step on him. He doesn't understand to get out of the kitchen. Just doesn't understand. Stands right there, doesn't move. So anyway, folks, let me cut up the onions, and I'm gonna fall. So anyway, let me cut up the onions. Guido, you have to move. Guido, you gotta move. Okay, there he goes. Okay, so I'm gonna cut up the onions, and then I'll show you how I do this. Okay, folks, so I got my onions cut up, and so I'm gonna show you. I'm not making that much of a, I have, I think, a 4-quart pot, give or take, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you. I cut up a lot of onions. Now, when it looks like a lot of onions, but onions break down. And this is what it looks like. These are 2 onions sliced up, and it looks like a lot, but believe it or not, it's gonna turn into nothing. I have some olive oil in my pan here, and in my pot. I'm gonna turn this on. See if it turns on, right? And mind you, this is a new stove. Doesn't turn on right. Okay. We'll get it. We'll get to it. There we go. Okay. Well, no, not yet. Okay, so let me figure this out. Okay, so we got the stove going. I put a couple of tablespoons of their olive oil. I got 4 tablespoons of butter. Okay. And we're gonna let that melt in there. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna slowly cook the onions. This is gonna take a long time. I wanna get them nice and soft. It might take a half hour, 45 minutes. So I'm gonna pour as soon as this butter is melted. Okay, let's melt this butter. Okay, so the butter's gonna help the oil not burn, and vice versa. So you got oil in there, you got olive oil, and I got some butter. Okay. I like to put the onions in here and start cooking them up, and I'm gonna put some salt. The salt starts the process of the onions sweating. So you have to get that sweat out, right? I'm gonna cover it up. I'm gonna slowly cook these onions. I'm going to break them down very slowly. The onions are going to get sweet as you cook them. There's a chemical reaction that causes the sweetness. The sweetness of the onions going to come out and give it that good flavor. I'm going to break these onions down. Like I said, it's going to take maybe until they're going to turn brown because of the sugar contents of the onion makes it turn brown. And I'm gonna get them nice and broken down, right? I'm gonna put some salt so they can sweat out the onion flavor and the sugars and everything, and break them down. And it's gonna take a little while. It's gonna take about a half hour, 45 minutes. This is a slow process, and so like I said, I got this big giant bowl of onions, and I'm gonna pour it in here. Let me show you, and there we go. And okay, look at that. Today, I cooked it. Gilbert just came in, walked through the door, so I'm trying to start this off because it takes a little while. So I tried to start off before he got home, and I'm just gonna put some salt. And this is just gonna make the onions sweat out, and that's it, folks. All you gotta do is keep an eye on it and constantly shake them around. Stir them around. Okay. Hopefully this works. I like to stir them around with a wooden spoon here. Okay. And that's it. So like I said, I put some salt in there to help it break down, and I also put some pepper in it. I didn't put any garlic powder, anything like that, because the garlic powder is gonna burn. And what it does, it turns the onion, bittery. So don't, if you're gonna put onion, if you're gonna put garlic, put it afterwards, after the onions are broken down. So, okay, so they're gonna break down, and you're gonna see a lot of onions now, and before you know it, it's not gonna look like nothing. So, I'm gonna cover these up. I'm gonna cook these up very low, and let it steam in there slowly. It's gonna take its time, half hour, 45 minutes, maybe more, until it's broken down. It's like a mush, and then after that, I'm gonna put in I got some beef broth, and then I'll add some flavor to it. Put some bay leaves in there, and if you have some thyme, you can use some thyme in there. I also like to break down the onions using some white wine or marsala wine, and that comes in afterwards. Okay, I'll show you how to do it. So anyway, folks, let me go on a break, and I'll be right back, and I'll show you how it's done. So folks, as you can see, the onions are letting out a lot of liquid, a lot of water. That's going to eventually evaporate. You can notice that I started out with a bunch of onions, and it's starting to break down slowly. I don't want to put this on high. I'm slowly bringing it to cook. Okay, and there's a lot of liquid in here, and don't worry about the liquid. The liquid will evaporate eventually, and it will just become part of the flavoring for the soup. Okay, so continue to move them around from time to time, cover them up, and just let them cook. Let them cook. Let them cook. So folks, the onions are starting to turn a brownish color, and the reason for that, because the natural sugar of the onion is coming out, and it's going to cook. I just scraped some of the bottom off, and I lower the heat. This is almost done. Maybe another 15 minutes or so. But to deglaze the bottom of the pot, I am going to throw in some marsala wine or white wine to deglaze it, and then I'm going to put everything else in. Okay, so. And as you can see, I started out with a whole bunch of onion, or the whole bottom, and now it's breaking down to nothing. So that's what it does. That's what the onions do. They break down. When they become nice and brown and really mushy, that's when I'm going to start putting the rest of the soup together. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, and then it should be good. So folks, these onions are really, really broken down. They look delicious. They smell delicious. Let me taste this, see how it tastes. Okay. So it's starting to stick to the bottom, which is no problem because I'm going to deglaze this. In a little while, I'm going to deglaze the onions, the onions, with a little bit of wine. You see that in the bottom? That's normal because the sugar that the onions are releasing. So in a little while, I'm going to cook it up for maybe 5 minutes or so, and let that, get a little bit more crustier in the bottom. Then I'm going to throw in some either white wine or marsala. I got to check to see what I got, and just a little bit, maybe a quarter cup, just to get that to deglaze it, to deglaze the pan and get all those little pieces stuck in the bottom and everything nice and flavored. And then I'm going to throw in my beef broth, and then I'm going to let it simmer 5-10 minutes, keeping an eye on it that it doesn't evaporate too much. And then I got my bread here. This bread I'm gonna brush it with some olive oil, and I'm gonna toast it, and then I'm gonna put it into the dish with cheese. Today I'm using, I believe, I have some provolone, but you can use Gruyere. Is real good cheese. I like to use Gruyere, Swiss. I've used different kind. Today I'm gonna use provolone, and I'm gonna throw some mozzarella on top of it, just because I like that pulling action of the mozzarella when it cooks up. So yeah, so after this break, I'm going to show you how it's done. Okay, so what I did, I brushed this with some olive oil. I'm going to toast these things. I'm going to make them real toasty, even though even if it's like real crunchy. Remember, it's going to go into the liquid soup, so it's gonna you don't want it to throw in there and it soaks up and sinks to the bottom. So you can get these real nice and toasty, like a crouton. Actually, you can use croutons for this. And when it's nice and toasty, like you can't bite into it because it's like crunch, that's okay, because remember, it's going to go into the liquid. So yeah, so I'm going to bring these over to the toast oven, and we're going to start toasting this in a little while. So folks, now it's time to deglaze the pan. The onions are getting nice and sticky to the bottom. So we're gonna deglaze this. And we're gonna raise up the temperature just a little bit so that I can start deglazing that pan, that pot. Okay, so it's sticking to the bottom because of the sugars. And there's no problem with that. We can do that. We can raise up the heat just a little bit. And we're gonna throw in about a quarter cup of, I'm using marsala. You can use white wine. But I like the marsala because it's got a nice nutty sweetness to it. And just keep our eye on them. At this point, don't make sure that it doesn't burn. Okay, just make sure that it's just, and then we're gonna deglaze it and we're gonna move it around quickly. Okay, that's the sign you want to hear. And then, there we go. And move it around, get all those in the bottom. Now you can actually smell the alcohol being burned, and the only thing left behind is the marsala, you know, and the wine. See, now the whole bottom of the pot is nice and clean. It's deglazed. Just give that a couple more minutes until the alcohol burns away. You don't want to get drunk on this soup, so you just wait till you'll see the alcohol burn away, and then what's left is the rest, and that's the whole object. And then we're gonna throw in now the beef broth. I got 16 ounces of college in. Sometimes I use Progresso, whatever. You can make your own beef broth if you have time for that. So I'm gonna put in 32 ounces. Okay, look at that. It looks delicious. Pour it in slowly, and you can add more. I got 32 ounces. I'm going to add I got another 32 ounce. I'm going to, let's see. Okay. I'm going to put in about a half of the other one. Okay. So now I'm going to bring this to a quick boil. I raised up the heat, and I'm going to bring this to a quick boil. I'm going to use about half of this, so it's half of 32 ounces. I don't know. I'm just gonna. Okay. And usually, sometimes if something left over, you can keep it for the next day. You can actually freeze this. If not, you know, just dump it away. Hey, if you have a neighbor who likes French onion soup, who's never had it, give it to them. Okay. So I'm gonna bring this to a quick boil, and then I'm gonna let it simmer. And the soup is done. The broth for the soup is done. I got some bread that I'm gonna toast up. And I'm going to go get the cheese, and we're going to put everything together, and I want to show you how we do that. So I'm bringing the soup to a boil. I got these nice bowls here that I washed out. Now, these bowls are nice. I have some small ones, and you can put the cheese, and it melts all over the sides. It looks nice, but it's small portions. So we bought these a while. Gilbert bought these. So what I'm going to do, I got 4 pieces of bread, and it doesn't necessarily have to take up the whole bowl, you know. So I'm going to put 2 pieces of bread here that are nice and toasted on top, and then I'm going to lay some cheese on top, and I'm going to put some mozzarella cheese, and then I'm going to throw this into the broiler part of my stove, so it can really cook. So look at my soup. Oh yeah, my soup is boiling, and I'm going to let that simmer for a little while my bread is in the toaster oven getting nice, and pretty soon we'll be eating. Then you can join us at the table. Okay, folks. So my bread is almost done. I want to get it nice and toasty, making sure that it doesn't drop to the bottom of the bowl when I cook it. So my soup is, I brought it to a second boil. I let it simmer. Now I just turned it off. It should remain hot. And remember, this soup is extremely hot. So you gotta be very careful when you serve it. And warn your visitors, you know, your people, if you're feeding this to people, let them know that it's gonna be hot, especially that bread. That bread is going to soak up that soup, and it's going to be very, very hot with the cheese. And if it gets stuck to the roof of your mouth, you got a 3-alarm fire in your mouth. Yep. So, I'm watching my bread. It's starting to get toasty, so let me go check it. Okay, so we're going to put the soup together. I'm going to ladle soup. I got my oven going on, and I'm going to lay the soup in here. It looks good, just like this. I always remember my mother loved onion soup. She never had French onion soup, but she used to love just plain French onion soup. Okay, so I'm gonna ladle about 4 of these ladles. Okay, you can do more. Okay, I got 1. I got 2. 3. And we got 4. Okay. And we're gonna do one more on this. Okay, we're gonna do one more on this one. Okay. A little bit more. This is maybe Gilbert's side. Okay, so, and we still have a little bit left in there for seconds, which is good. Okay, so let's just move this out of the heat here. Okay, so now we gotta work quick on this. So we're gonna put the bread, make sure it doesn't sink to the bottom. We got the cheese. Okay, we got some mozzarella cheese, and let me go get my. We're gonna put this in a broiler, and we're gonna keep an eye on it because this cooks up pretty quick. So, but you want a nice crusty chard to the cheese, okay? So you put these in here. See, they don't float. They float, but they don't run all the way to the bottom. We're gonna put some cheese on top of this. Okay, we're gonna put that in there. Okay, we're gonna throw some mozzarella cheese in here too as well. I like to have that elastic look to it, so we're gonna do this. Okay, and you can see the bread is still, it's not sinking to the bottom because it's nice and toasty. It's gonna take a while to soak up. So you can put more cheese on this if you want. You can make it as cheesy as you want. So let me. Okay, so the soup is in the broiler, and like I said, keep eye on it because the broiler is kind of strong and it's cooking it from top to bottom. You just want that nice charred look at the cheese. You can burn it if you want. It's up to you. I like a little bit burn, but you know, make sure that you don't overburn it. Okay, so it's in the broiler at 500 degrees, so you gotta keep eye on it quickly. Okay, so let me check it. Okay, folks, so everything's done. The soup is done. I have a couple of little bagels that I ate for lunch, and there's a couple of them left. I gave them to Gilbert. I'm okay, you know, I don't eat much these days, and I think the soup is going to help my stomach. My stomach has been unsettled for a while, and I haven't been able to eat the way I want to eat, you know, with all this mess. But let's go to the table. I'll show you how it looks. So here I am at the table, and what we did today again is French onion soup. Uncle Jesse's French onion soup, very simple. I broke down the onions for about a good 30 to 40 minutes, break them down to a mush till they release all those sugars and all those liquid, and they actually caramelized. And after they caramelized and stuck to the bottom of the pot, I deglazed the pot with some Marsala wine. You can also use white wine. I used Marsala because I like that sweet, nutty taste that the Marsala wine creates. I burned off, of course, the alcohol. We don't want to get drunk on soup, right? And when the alcohol burns away, you can tell all that vapor, all that smoking up, that's the alcohol being burned away. It burns away real quick. And then what's left is the flavor of the Marsala. And then I toasted some nice French bread, I think it is, Italian bread. Toasted up with some olive oil, made it nice and toasty. You can also use croutons. One day I'm going to try with croutons. You can actually use croutons, but I'm using bread, and I toasted it real hard, just like a crouton, so they won't sink to the bottom. It's still floating, so that's a good indication. And then I toppled it with my choice of cheese today, which is provolone and mozzarella. I like the mozzarella because it leaves that stringy, feeling, and the provolone gives it a nice taste. Sometimes I've used Gruyere cheese. You can use basically any kind of cheese. I don't know about American cheese. I don't think it's, but any cheese. You can Swiss. I've used. You can use a combination like I did today, 2 types of cheese, and it's good. So let me turn the camera and show you how it looks. So, okay, look at that. Look at that soup right there. Look at that. Oh man, the table looks like this always. And there goes my soup down here at the end. And we have those little bagels left over for lunchtime. This was not part of it, but instead of throwing them out, having Gilbert do little bagel bites. So anyway, let's sit down. The dog is in his crate. He's biting away at a bone that Gilbert brought him. He's being entertained. He's getting there. It's a slow thing, but he went out today, and he went out twice actually. And the first time he did what he had to do, and the second time he met a couple of dogs, which is good. He met a big giant pit bull, and I got scared of him, but they sniffed each other's nose, and then he met a couple of dogs. They started barking at these 3 little dogs. So he feels like he's a kind of a bully, like I'm a pit bull. But you have to interact with other dogs, and just you keep eyeing them and ready to pick them up and whisk them away if something happens. Right? Unfortunately, things happen. So you gotta be careful. The owner you should always ask the owner, you know, is he friendly? And the owner, the owner should know. There was a lady with a big giant bull. She goes, oh, he's, you know, but I still don't. But they smell each other. They have to interact one way or another, and with people. But I mean, he has the love of people from the neighborhood. It's crazy. People, everybody goes by and he's got this cute, sad face, like, you know. And I guess when he gets bigger, they'll ignore him. But for now, he's a cute little dog, and he's a new dog in the neighborhood, and everybody already knows him. We're trying to teach him. It's hard. It's like teaching a baby. It's a lot of work, but I think he's gonna get there. I think, you know, eventually. Some dogs learn faster than others. You know, it's just, and the breed has a lot to do with it, and the upbringing and all that stuff. So he's only 11 weeks old. So anyway, folks, with that said, today I cooked all by myself. I surprised myself. I did this before Gilbert got home. I want to get into that. Thursday, I'm going to get my hand checked, and they're gonna. Hopefully, they told me they will downgrade this big lump that I have here, and then probably another week after that, they'll cut the stitches off, and then therapy it is, and then we'll see what happens. Life goes on, right? So anyway, folks, the weather's beautiful today. It was a nice breeze. It's you know, we're winding down. The summer went away so fast, didn't even notice it, and so but the unofficial summer was Labor Day, but it's still summertime, folks. So don't get depressed because it's still summertime, and you know. Don't rush to get rid of it, because before you know it, you'll be Christmas shopping. Oh my God! The holidays will be upon us. That's a little bit stressful on some people like myself, and you know what I've been through. But anyway, it's the way it is, right? We got 12 months, right? And then we go around and again and again and again and again. Anyway, folks, I love you guys. Thank you. Let me get the soup. I let it cool down. Let me get going on the soup. And a matter of fact, I got to tell you how it tastes. So we got, first of all, let me see. We got a little bay leaf in. I'm gonna get rid of. Okay. I love using bay leaf. And some people say, "Oh, it doesn't do anything." I think it does. I mean, it does give it a flavor. You know, especially when it's cooked in there. And it's got, everything looks good. And I mean, this thing looks good. I mean, look at this. Look at this. So we got the bread here. Remember, tell your guests if you have guests over and that you're serving them this. This is extremely hot, especially the bread. The bread. You see that smoke? The bread is gonna remain hot with the liquid. It's gonna soak it up like a sponge. The cheese is gonna get stuck to you, so you know you're gonna have a 3-alarm fire in your mouth. Oh look, I must have got all the leaves. I got another bay leaf. I put 2 of them in there, so I guess I got the bulk of it. So let me try this out. This is delicious. Taste. Wow. So very simple. If you watch the video, very simple. There's other ways to do it, and there's other people put all kind of ingredients. I think this is very simple and very quick. It takes about an hour. And you know, once you break down the onion, just throw in the beef broth in there, and you're done. So yeah, definitely good. Definitely good for my stomach. Love you guys. Thank you all for your well wishes and all your comments that you make every day. You are with me. Even the people who don't make a comment, I know you're watching my video. I love you guys. I really do. Thank you. And good night. See you tomorrow.